Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 7th grade concept of comparing numeric data. This is standard 7.12a in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 39 off the 2021 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we have box plots here showing the numbers of lessons completed by students at two different schools, and you notice both of these box plots are stacked on top of each other. We've got school 1 on the top, school 2 on the bottom, using the same scale, so it's going to be easy to visually compare some of these things. But you notice that we've got some terms here that are not defined for us that are very important. Range, median, interquartile range. We don't necessarily have a vocabulary word in D. We'll get to that at the very end. So let's look at this. The range of the data for school 1 is greater than the data for school 2. All right, so range, that's simply the difference between the greatest and the smallest. So that's usually pretty easy to calculate. So my greatest number here in school 1 is 13. So I'm going to say school 1 range. And let's just visually see it here. 13 minus my smallest number is right there. That's 2. So that's 11. And then school 2 range. That is going to be 13 again. But this one goes all the way down to 1. So that's got a range of 12. So if we take a look at their statement here, it says the range of the data for school 1, that's 11, is greater than the range of the data for school 2, 12. That is incorrect. We want less than. That would have worked. We're looking for the statement that is true, that is best supported. So A is not the answer. The median. All right, so how do we figure out the median on these box plots? Actually, medians are really easy to find on box plots, a lot harder on dot plots. So you see that we've got a box here in the middle, and this box, what this box does is this helps us break up the data into 4 big chunks, right? So we've got 4 chunks. They're not necessarily even, but we got a chunk on this line on the outside, another chunk right here inside the box, and the other chunk inside the box, and those 2 chunks don't necessarily have to be even. And that last chunk on that line. And then you got the same thing up here. There's always going to be 4 chunks, 2 on the lines, the box itself broken up into 2 parts. So the median is the middle. So on this box plot, what we're looking for is we're looking for this middle line. It's going to have a line in the middle of the box. Doesn't have to be exactly in the middle. It's just going to be somewhere in the box with a little circle in there. That's your median, because that is showing up as the middle of this data set, even if it's not exactly in the middle of the end of both lines. So the median for the first is going to be right here on 5. For school 1 median is going to be 5. School 2 median, you see, is right here on 7. So we're just looking for that line in the middle of the box. And this says the median of the data for school 2, that's 7, is greater than the median for the data for school 1, 5. Okay, that looks good. 7 is greater than 5. I'm thinking B is my answer. As always, let's check C and D. So now we've got this interquartile range. So that is IQR, sometimes abbreviated. So these 4 chunks are actually, they give us 3 big data points. So the first line right here on the edge of these boxes, that's going to be quartile 1. The median is quartile 2. So that's a line separating the second and the third chunk. And then the line on the outside of this box, that's going to be quartile 3. So interquartile range equals Q3 minus Q1. So it's the range, but it's just on the edge of the boxes. It's because half of your data is in this box. They want to see how far apart that is. So we've got school 1, the IQR, that's going to be 9 minus 4, and then school 2 IQR also equals 9 minus 4. And they say it's greater, but it's even. D just is silly because we don't know any numbers here. We don't know how many lessons there are at all. It doesn't show us that, so our answer is B.